Today we have a very special program on scams. With us is Gene Tavis, Senior Vice President of the German American Bank, and Jeff Young, a detective with the Jasper City Police. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The program today on scams concerns an involvement in the community where the German American Bank has been receiving, or the customers, not necessarily customers, but people in the area have been receiving notices of deposits to the bank and where somebody's trying to gain the account numbers of the individuals.
Right.
And that's what the program consists of today. And we'll start with Jeff. If you could describe the types of scams that are taking place that involve the German American Bank.
Well, they've been getting several different type of scams last several weeks. One particular scam they've been getting is there have been phishing emails have been being sent out to everyone, including customers and non-customers, advising them that their accounts have been suspended, and it's asking them to hit onto a site so they can provide their account information. And then unfortunately we've had individuals that do that and actually end up losing their monies because they pump in their account information. And there's been several other different type of scams too, if you wish to touch base on those two.
Yeah. Paul, over the past couple of weeks, we've had instances where bogus telephone calls are being made to residents in the Du Bois County area. These computer-generated messages will ask the recipient, or first of all will tell the recipient that their credit card accounts have been suspended, sometimes due to fraudulent activity on their accounts. And recently, a new twist that they've added is that because of a lot of the scams that are being taken place, that their accounts have been suspended. And they're telling the recipient of these calls to dial a toll-free number to reactivate their accounts. If the person actually does call that toll-free number, they'll find that they get another voice recording asking them to input their account number, their PIN number, and sometimes their expiration dates. Of course, at that point, once that information is captured, the suspect or suspects who have gained that information now have everything they need to begin accessing their account.
And when a person has given them, all that information, and they start removing funds from the account, do they empty it immediately, or?
They do. Of course, there are certain limits, dollar limits that could be put onto an account for each day, but virtually immediately you can see activity on that account from this most recent case came from Spain.
From the country of Spain.
The country of Spain.
But so, but people, if I give my account number to somebody, let's say, and it is a scam, I probably wouldn't know it until I get my bank statement at the end of the month, would I?
That's correct. That's why.
Or if I try to write checks or something.
Right. That's why it's important for everybody, if they feel that they have given out information that they later thought maybe they should not have given out, is to contact the bank, contact Jasper City Police, also your local authorities, let them know what happened, that we can stop those transactions immediately.
So if there is someone out there now that may have had this happen to them, it'd be urgent for them to act now.
Definitely.
Yes.
Why is? Were you going to say something, Jeff?
I was agreeing that they need to act immediately.
Okay. First of all, when we were using the term phishing, before we go on, the term phishing, just what we described is what phishing is.
Correct.
Somebody calling you trying to get information.
That's correct.
And if they have the information, they had a great catch.
Yes.
Right.
Or they think they had a great catch, but you're the loser. Why is the German American Bank being targeted?
There's no specific reason. Many large corporations are targeted, and there's a trend going towards going down to the regional and local financial institutions and trying to touch base with those individuals that might believe that they're actually receiving an email or a telephone call from the actual institution itself.
I agree with Jeff that we've asked ourselves that question numerous times. Why German American? And what it boils down to, as they try to fish these various companies, as long as they remain successful in gaining account information, as long as it's a profitable thing for them to do, they're going to continue to be doing that. So when the well dries up, in other words, when customers are, the consumer is no longer calling these numbers and giving them their information, they'll then move on to another company in an attempt to gain the confidence of the people through a different company.
So really, if we're talking about financial institutions, there is no institution exempt from this type of scam.
No, nowhere in the world.
I mean, today it's the German American Bank, tomorrow it may be
It'll be
another local
institution.
bank.
Whoever.
That's correct.
So right now we're talking about what has been going on because it involves a local bank, the German American Bank, but tomorrow it may be somebody else.
Right. And again, I really believe that when the well dries up, they'll move on to someone else. So that's why Jeff and I are here today to really reinforce the fact to the people that they need to be cautious. They need to be aware that these types of phishing scams are going on and to protect their personal information.
Really never give out your account information over the phone or on the internet.
Exactly.
Who are the recipients of these scams?
The recipients are really at random. They're not necessarily German American customers. They could be anyone. There are different ways of obtaining information, and they just, it's a numbers game. The more people they can touch, the more people they can ask for their personal information, the more successful they'll become. So it's totally at random.
So you never know who it's going to be.
You never know.
How are the email addresses and the telephone numbers obtained?
Well, the email addresses can be obtained in many different, using many different methods. The individuals out there are very creative, and they have the means and ability to go out there to distribution lists and pull off email addresses, be able to identify what is known as a IP address and identify the local IP addresses and just swamp everybody in this area that has an email address that belongs to those IP addresses. And there's several other different methods that they use too. Mm-hmm. We believe that with the telephone calls that recently came out the last couple of weeks that they're just using a computerized dialer. I received a phone call on my GAB account. I know that one of our judges received a phone call. The Jasper Police Department received a phone call. So there's just many different mechanisms that they have out there that they can use. And what they're doing is they're fishing. They're fishing for those individuals that have accounts, and hopefully they'll take the bait and call in and provide their information.
As best we can tell with this latest round of telephone scams, what Jeff said is exactly right, that they used a computerized dialer that looked at a specific prefix. In this particular case, it was the 482 prefix, and then just at random started dialing any combination of numbers within the 482 prefix.
But there's also, been people contacted who don't even have a German American account.
That's correct.
So, which indicates it's really at random. Has any customer account information actually been compromised?
No German American information has been compromised. Unfortunately, there were a select number of people who did respond to these telephone inquiries especially,
yes,
and dialed this toll-free number, and they themselves compromised their own information by inputting that into this computerized message. Once identified though, once these people told us that what they had done, we immediately would close their account, open a new one. If they hadn't already done so, we called the Jasper Police Department, who I must say have been excellent working with trying to solve these cases. So again, we're doing everything we can do in conjunction with the Jasper Police Department to dry up these pipelines.
And I've also been real close contact with the IT folks at German American Bank, and I know that they already had several mechanisms in place to safeguard all their computer files. They've done a complete thorough audit to ensure that none of their files have been compromised, have been attacked from the outside, and as of this date, they have not found anybody that has been able to get inside their files, so they feel very comfortable. So we feel very safe, very comfortable with the fact that the files at German American Bank are safe, and the only information that's being compromised is what the customer account holders are providing through the phishing scams.
I think it's worth noting too, Paul, that banks in general and German American in specific, our policy is to not call our customers or email our customers and ask for personal information. If anybody receives a call purporting to be German American, I mean, they really need to stand back and think about what they're doing before they divulge any information. Logic, of course, sometimes is the last thing that we think of when receiving calls like this, but logically speaking, the bank already has your account information. So why would we be asking for it again?
I think there was a case, this was several months ago, where a person was called and actually the caller used a bank person's name.
That's not unusual. They use twists like that sometimes. They might use common names also. If they're not associated with the bank, they just might use a common name, taking the chance that someone by that name actually works at the bank.
And we recommend that if you do receive a call from a bank, and even if you believe that it's legitimate, hang up and contact the bank back directly yourself. Mm-hmm. This way you'll find out if that individual you were talking to is actually a good person to be talking to.
And if you do that, never use the telephone number that's left in the message or in the email. Always make sure you look up that number yourself, the bank number. Use the local telephone directory.
It's really tempting sometimes. So when these people call and give you this information, and there's a lot of people out there that just are anxious to get it over with and hand out the information.
The people are creative. I mean, the ploy is to, once you hear the word that your account's been suspended, of course, all logic goes out the window at that point, and you'll do whatever you feel that you need to do to reactivate the account. And they play on that.
Yes, very much so.
So the thing always is, do not give out your account number or any Social Security number or any of that type of personal information on the internet or on the telephone.
That's exactly right.
Are there any other places we should not do that?
Well, with your debit cards and your credit cards, if you're at a business, you don't want to hand your card to them and let them go somewhere else and swipe it. You always want to keep that card in your view, because it can be swiped and information can be captured, and then before you know it, you're going to be scammed there. So the bottom line is, anything that's personal and that's dealing with finances, keep a very, very tight rein on all that information.
I'd like to also add that some things we can do to monitor your account, as far as looking at your statements whenever you receive those in the mail each month, reconcile your account, look at all the transactions and make sure all of those are legitimate transactions. We have online banking that you can use to check your account activity on a daily basis, telephone banking. All of those things can be used just to ensure that no fraudulent transactions are going through your account.
I think a good thing might be to make sure you have a receipt for everything. Mm-hmm. That's on your bank statement or credit card statement.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of individuals that will do online banking too, and purchase online, and recommend that whatever accounts that they use to open up, to keep it to a minimum, minimize any potential loss if they happen to be compromised. Use credit cards with only a couple $100 limit on it. Keep bank accounts with only a couple $100 in it. Don't use your normal bank account where all your paychecks are going into. Don't use that account to do your online banking, to have a separate account.
You could also go to trusted sites. There are services out there where ratings are placed on the different companies that you can buy from. Just make sure that they are legitimate companies that have a good track record.
And how you can identify the sites on the internet that are secured, you look at the home page, and it will be identified with a H it's HTTPS, and that identifies a site that is a secured site.
And this is when you go into the site
That's correct.
and you open it up, or when you type in to go to the site?
Now, once you're open into the site, you can take a look. You just look at the properties of that site.
Or the address line. It'll be also on the address
Right.
line.
And it will have the HTTPS
Yes.
after the P.
That's correct.
What other ways are there that we can protect ourselves in that way?
Well, there's many different ways to protect. Definitely shred any and all documents that have any personal information on it. Ensure that your home computer is well protected with firewalls, using different anti-spyware programs. The best way is never to give out your information. You just don't give it out to anybody unless you know exactly who you're dealing with and you're dealing with a trusted site.
You know, these telephone calls that come about on the internet, we find that it's difficult sometimes to trace where it came from. Is it just as difficult on the telephone to trace from the detective point of view
Yes.
where the calls originated?
It's extremely difficult to find the bottom line who is the subscriber. German American Bank has done a very good job in identifying the keepers of the phone numbers that have been used in the latest rounds that we've had with their telephone scams. I've issued numerous subpoenas trying to get to the subscriber information on that, and we just keep hitting one layer after another layer after another layer, and we're working it. I know in several of the latest rounds, some of the individuals who had a loss to their accounts, the money's ended up in Spain, and so it's going to be a very difficult task for us to try to track down who exactly is responsible.
As Jeff said earlier, these people are very creative, and they understand the more complex the hierarchy of companies that they use is, the more difficult it is for us to find the end user. And these particular cases are no different than that. They use cell phones, the pay-as-you-go type cell phones that are not registered in any user's names, again making it extremely difficult to find out who that user is. I will say that whenever we have been contacting the Jasper City Police Department, they have been very helpful in getting subpoenas to help us fight through those layers of companies to try to find who it is that's doing these scams.
And now the scam with the German American Bank has been kind of going on for some time, hasn't it?
We've had the email phishing scams that have been going on for some time. Early this year they began. This has subsided for quite a bit of time and then resurfaced here recently. And again, adding this new twist with the telephones. That was a totally new twist for us.
And then they jumped on top of that by saying there's been numerous scams, and so they were very creative.
Once again, they are. And again, if anybody receives a call, anybody receives an email, and they have any uneasy feeling about it at all, like, well, this just doesn't sound right, make sure that you just ignore the communication, whether it be a phone call or an email, and call your bank.
You know, it really sounds interesting when, not interesting, but, when you say, they call on the phone and then they say, well, due to recent scams in the area, it almost makes it sound like there's somebody local talking to you.
That's
exactly.
Correct.
But it's not.
That's correct.
How can they get that information back so quickly?
Well, we've had phone numbers that we've shut down with phone numbers being opened up literally within 24 hours, new numbers. As soon as we get them shut down, we get them open. They open them right back up again. Different numbers, different companies.
It's difficult. The analogy I've used is like wallpaper. Have you ever had an air bubble in a piece of wallpaper? You get rid of it one place, it just seems to pop up in another place.
Yes.
So you have pinholes everywhere.
You're right.
But you know, it's really something. Now the other thing that has the cell phone is the wireless, making this easy for everybody on the phone and the email rather than wired services. Is there a correlation to that or not? Do we not know?
I don't know. I really haven't taken a look at that.
I don't know. It certainly adds another layer of complexity because especially these pay-as-you-go cell phones just absolutely cannot be traced.
Yeah, once we hit one of those, it's a dead end.
What should we do if we get emails or telephone calls? Kind of, we've gone over it a little bit, I think, but
Don't respond. Don't respond to them, period.
Absolutely.
And if you think it's coming from your bank or from a major credit card company that you have, contact the company directly yourself or see them in person. Just don't respond.
Again, our best defense against all of these is customer education, public education. Everybody understanding that these scams do exist. They're not exclusive to the large metropolitan areas, but they do exist in rural Indiana. To be aware of that and just not to fall prey to some of their scams.
Why would they go to a smaller community or a smaller facility rather than an international or national facility?
No particular reason other than to obtain monies and funds.
No stone left unturned?
They have no boundaries. Obviously, you have a lot, in smaller communities. You have individuals, that are a little bit more trustworthy. You have strong corporations in small communities that your communities have a lot of faith and trust in. And when your community starts receiving information from those companies, there's a tendency to believe that it's coming from them. Because I know with the emails, they look like they came from German American Bank, the ones that were put out there. They were very good, and on some of them, if you moved around on the email, it would probably take you to a German American Bank website, and just to make it look real. But the place where you were responding had nothing to do with German American Bank when they started asking for the information.
And Paul, I also feel that they're doing that because of the feeling that I just talked about. It can't happen to us. That kind of mentality that we're in small rural Indiana, and those kinds of things happen in New York, Los Angeles,
Correct.
Chicago, but they don't happen here. And again, they're very creative. They know that that is the mindset of a lot of people, so they play on that.
Which coincides with folks being more trustworthy.
What else should we do to protect our personal information?
One thing that I think everybody has to realize is with the internet today, anything that you put into an email and you hit the send button is out there.
Correct.
It could be intercepted by somebody with the technological skills of intercepting emails. So just be aware of that. Be cautious of what you include in your emails because you never know who might read them.
Well, it is kind of interesting. Not interesting. I always keep saying interesting, but I'm sure. I know I've sent emails to somebody, but they never got them at the other end. So basically, that email, I understand, is floating around somewhere, or somebody else got it. It shows as it being sent, but the people never received it.
Again, that could be because the recipient has a good spam blocker on their home computer, or at their place of business they might have protection enough to disallow those types of emails to come through. They may recognize those, and there might be something contained in that email that might cause it to be blocked by this spam blocker, such as a lot of designs and decorations in the background of an email. A lot of times those are intercepted by the spam blocker.
I think most of the web servers have the blockers on them, don't they?
Yes.
Yes.
They all do.
What is the bank and the Jasper Police Department doing to identify the suspects or to stop the scams?
Well, number one, the scams will never be stopped. We'll never stop them, and that's the main reason why we're here, trying to educate, our community and the consumers out there to minimize the losses. But scams will never be stopped.
They are with us. Education is the best defense.
And we just need to be continually working on it.
Yes.
As far as the bank, you feel like you've done everything you can do and are always making improvements, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We have for years have had a lot of different softwares on our systems to ensure that nobody can get in and jeopardize the customer information that we have. Those have been tested and proven to be successful.
Jeff, has there been any progress in tracking down some of these suspects?
Well, we made some progress with some of the subpoenas. We've gotten to 2 or 3 different levels. We're in the process of trying to get down to the actual subscriber themselves. My concern is we were I know in the latest one we were told that it's going to end up going to a cell phone that has no tracking. That's what they told us on the phone, but we're waiting to get the information. They just wouldn't give us the details without the subpoena. Because of the numbers and the number of times, and we believe that it's a substantial attack against the customers of German American Bank, we've contacted the FBI, and within the next couple of weeks they're going to be coming up and sitting down with us and with German American Bank and taking a look at what's been happening, and with the hopes that it will meet their mandates where they can continue the investigation. I know with the telephone scam, we know that the money trail ended up in Spain. And so we're just trying to take a look at it to see if there's any means or ways that, is it possible that money might be filtering back into the United States where there's a suspect. But if everything's overseas, that is beyond our authority and our resources to be able to investigate that, and then we hit a dead wall. And so we've asked the FBI to come and take a look at it, and so we're going to be interested to see what they can do for us.
Right.
Now, if there would be a scam originating probably in the United States, it would be easier to track than if it's from a foreign country?
It's easier to track, but it's still just as difficult to find out who's actually responsible, because individuals are not only hiding behind numerous servers, and they're using false names, and you just don't know exactly who they are. It's still difficult, but we have the authority and the resources to continue the investigation.
And going back to Spain, did it go through several countries to get before you finally found out that it was Spain?
That would be information your GABIT folks might know. I don't know.
We don't know that.
We just know where it ended up at.
That's exactly right. That's all we know.
We have just time for some brief closing comments. Jeff?
Well, the best advice that I can give to everyone is just do not respond to any emails or telephone calls. If you do not respond at all, that is going to virtually eliminate you being scammed and your money being taken.
And again, my comments are the same as Jeff's. I mean, what we need to do is to reinforce the fact that these are scams. It does happen to us locally, and that as long or until that well is dried up, the scams will continue. So for us to stop it, we just merely need not to respond to any of these inquiries.
Jeff Young, Gene Tavis, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you, Paul.
For your time.